Diana, why don't you tell about your fun home improvement project you did that you got too deep?
Which you told me that I should not do this, and I did it anyways. Yeah. And I'm still not even done with it.
What
to
did
be really
you do? I
honest
really
with
want to
you.
hear this now.
So when we were under contract, we had just gotten under contract on our new construction house, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get started, and I'm like, I'm going to restain my fence. Now I have over 200 feet of fence. So, I'm going to, just like with the tax protest, I'm going to see this through.
Have you not run into us talking shit about the DIYers and then you decide to be a DIY? Ma'am.
I told her not to.
She told me not to. And I'm like, no, it's fine.
You are
like,
not handy
I
mandy.
can do this. Well, I am and I'm not. So I soon realized I need a power washer, right? If I'm going to do this right.
You got to do it right.
So I get a quote for my fence and it's like $2,500. And I'm like, no, there's no way. So I get a power washer and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to power wash the whole thing. And I did, actually. It took me 3 days and I power washed it.
You have a really big
I have because my lot itself, I think I have 70 feet of fence. Luckily, I have a stone wall, so I didn't have to do that. I have a stone wall in the back. But I had 70 feet of fence on both sides plus the front. And so I get through the power washing phase. I'm all proud of myself. I'm like, yeah, I did it. And then I go and I buy the stain.
You were staining it with your hand at first.
Yeah,
right?
so I've never stained anything before, okay? I'm really good at painting. So, and I buy the stain. Well, a 5-gallon, and this is part of the reason why, I know this now, why fence quotes are so high. Because the materials. So I buy this 5-gallon thing. It was $200.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the HOA approved color. I had to make sure that I knew the color.
You got to get a sprayer.
So I go and I buy like a paintbrush, and my daughter's going to help me. And I go out there, and luckily it was still spring, so I don't think it was as hot. And I get the paintbrush, I dip it in the stain, and I just put it on the fence, and like nothing happens.
You could sit there for the rest of your life with that.
And so I'm just sitting there, and then after about an hour and a half, I messaged Genevieve, and I'm like,
nope.
You sent me a picture. It was like one panel.
I was like, you need to call Gustavo. Okay, so then I call our painter, Gustavo, who we use and we love.
Another good vendor.
Gusty.
And I send him a picture, and I'm like, this is my fence. Can you help me? I've already pressure washed it. Like, I've done half the job. And I think his quote, and I know now it was a reasonable quote because it was $1,300. I'm like,
super reasonable.
You went from
$2,500 to $1,300. So my labor is obviously worth it. And so at that point, I'm like, nope, I'm going to go buy a sprayer. So I get my car.
Wait, but how much money have you? You need to tell us at the
end. So
end.
I borrowed the pressure washer from my sister. So luckily that was not an expense. So now I'm out the brushes. I probably spent $30 on brushes plus $200 for the stain. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get a sprayer. So I go to Lowe's.
Can you rent a sprayer?
I could have, but I was like, I'm going to need it for multiple days. I looked that up too.
By the time,
So all of this I'm doing on my own. My husband's at work, and I'm like, I'll do it. And so I go and I get a sprayer, $150. So now what am I at? I'm at $400.
Yeah.
So I get the sprayer, and I finally figure out how to use it. I'm wearing like a bandana. I just look ridiculous. My neighbor's watching me.
What a slower than usual market will do to you.
Yeah, but my neighbor's cool guy.
We've all just lost our shit at this point.
I was like, I'll finish it. And so I finally get the hang of the sprayer. It probably took me a little while. And it's a small sprayer.
Are you done?
No. And I'm not done.
She started this in the spring.
I started this in the spring. And so actually, I finished half of it, and then the other half needs another coat, and so then I have to go buy another gallon or 5-gallon thing.
Oh my gosh!
So the sprayer, some $400, and then I'm out
another $200.
You're
gonna, it'll be.
And I'm
another.
like, okay, so I'm almost done, and then I ran out of stain again.
Yep, I told you will need another one. It absorbs.
And at that point,
it.
like it's not the spraying, but it's like refilling it. It just gets everywhere.
It's tedious.
It's just
well,
tedious.
now it's like 100
It's
degrees
too hot
outside.
now, and it's been raining like the whole June, so it is not done. But I will say, like, if you can stain your fence to relist your house, it looks so much better.